So this is the 71st proclaimed miracle of Lourdes. It was proclaimed just in the last few days on the Feast of the Immaculate Conception, the 8th of December. It's the story of Jack Traynor, an Irish-born Liverpool Catholic who, injured in World War I, travelled to Lourdes on the very first pilgrimage from this diocese and there experienced the wonderful cure that we today give thanks to God for. So Jack Traynor was an Irish-born Liverpool Catholic of a strong Catholic background who during World War I was a war veteran of Gallipoli. He was severely injured in the war as he landed at Gallipoli, coming under machine gun fire, attended Lourdes on our very first pilgrimage in July 1923, and within the first couple of days and few visits to the baths and then the Blessed Sacrament procession, was miraculously cured of multiple conditions, which is what's unique about his story. From there on in, he was committed to returning to Lourdes each year as a member of the hospitality to provide that same service and support to other pilgrims who were equally seeking that miraculous cure at the intercession of our Blessed Lady. So Jack's case took as long as it did because the medical records from 1926 that were published weren't placed in his particular file, and therefore it took many attempts throughout the years of different doctors and different interested parties researching his case to be able to finally find a reference to that report, which was made by Dr. Vallée, which included the three doctors who had originally assessed Jack before going to Lourdes, during Lourdes and post the cure, that gave us the evidence that was needed eventually to be able to declare it a miracle. And it was during our centenary pilgrimage last year that Dr. Kieran Moriarty was asked by the Medical Bureau to come and do some more work on Jack's case. That's where he discovered the reference to Dr. Vallée. That set him looking off for the records. He found them, and the wonderful gift that that gave was this moment to be able to come about where we could recognise that there's no medical reason why Jack could have recovered, and therefore it must have been a supernatural experience. The hand of God touched him, cured him, and through that intercession in that space, we have that wonderful moment now where rightfully today we can celebrate the gift of his cure with his family. Jack's miracle cure is tremendously significant for us, and I would say that in many respects, it arriving at the proclamation now is crucial in this time of our own history. Like the rest of Europe, our faith is challenged, and yet we receive into the context of a world which is very much dependent upon fact and scientific evidence to base all decisions. We arrive at a moment where once all of those medical reasons and facts are put into place, no other reason can be given for this man to have experienced this miraculous cure. So to the British people, it means that we must question again that gift of the presence of the power of God in our lives. And for the Catholic community in Liverpool, it's an opportunity for us to be renewed and to be able to tell the wonderful story about what God does in our lives through the specific case of Jack Traynor. So in February, there will be a mass to celebrate on the Feast of St. Bernadette, this wonderful moment in our lives. All our primary school children and secondary school children will have learned something about Jack's story, and we'll come together to be able to, with his family, members of his family who are still alive, be able to give thanks to God for renewing us, reviving our faith in these times. I have no doubt that people will become curious again about the supernatural. And I think as they open themselves up to that curiosity, they'll also be able to discover their spiritual selves. And faith always takes us that step further. And when we meet God in faith, then we find the impossible becoming possible. People's faith, I do believe, will be renewed and reinvigorated by this cure.